Alright, we're finally into the grand finals here. In the top right, we do have Team Liquid's Clem. And in the bottom left of Andromeda, we have Team T1's herO, which is pretty freaking cool. He should be red, herO should be red, Clem should be blue. They have utterly failed. Restart the damn game. No, I'll live. I'll be fine. Andromeda, we did not get to see a lot of it when we had it in Max Packs versus Clem, because Clem Max Packs and won within 4 minutes. Not happening here, so let's take a look at it. Let's take a gander. The natural into the third. Okay, and the natural not that big. Okay, all right. Feels like some big mains and naturals in this map pool. But moving on. Destructible rocks. Okay. Rich Vespian Geyser. This looks like you take a picture of this, and this actually kind of looks like some type of Brood War map. You're just like, ah, oh, Blizzard, what are you doing? Why are the minerals here? Why is the gas there? This doesn't make any sense. But no, this is a modern StarCraft 2 map. Because that must be super awkward. I mean, it's half base, but you put your base there. The geyser's off. You know, like this is what I'm looking at. The geyser's off. Anyways, Rich Vespian Geyser, cool. Probe is blocking out a 1-Rax expand currently, so nicely done, Probe. And then what other features does this map have? You expand to the third, you walk your way through the middle, through brush, through more destructible rocks. More destructible rocks maybe down here, actually, up into there, and that's how you get to your opponent's side of the map. Okay. Regular base, regular base, regular base. So yeah, I mean, and no, there are no doodads. There's not a lot of doodads in the map pool so far. We haven't seen all the maps, but of the maps we have seen, there's been no healing shrines, right? No healing shrines, no speed zones, no slow zones. This map needs more cats. It's true. So what's going to be interesting about this map is certainly more of the terrain and the movement of the units. Give me a little bit of a Daybreak feel. Anyone else getting that? You know, we're out in outer space, but then also, ooh, good block on the probe. You know, this kind of shorter map, more horizontal than vertical. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm seeing? It's definitely not like Daybreak, but just as far as the overall layout. Anyway, Probe did die. Daybreak, it was like main here, natural, and then there was this gigantic wall in the third up there, so definitely not like it in the layout that way, but just more as the silhouette. It's kind of like a silhouette of Daybreak. 1-1-1 here from Clem. Bunker up. Nice and safe. Not much has gone down. Reaper Hellion. Not going to find any damage. In fact, he's going to have to run away. Wait, what did I click on? Oh, I clicked on the rocks, too. He's going to have to run away from the double Adept opener that herO's doing. Into double Stalker. He's got one gateway. He's building a second, and that does seem to be it. So, planning on a third Nexus. Nope, third gateway. Then Nexus. He sends his probe on over. Reaper Hellion is really trying to get past all these units, by the way, and so far unsuccessful. Has not been able to get another scout in. Did not see the Twilight Council, has assumed at this point probably Twilight Council, but would like to get in someplace to see either, well, of course, the third, or maybe do a little harassment, or even a little distraction. Been pushed away at every turn. Here comes the medevac drop, full of 2 Widow Mines. This army does finally get a position to see that it is in fact a third Nexus. Do not fear the 4-gate. Could be a Warp Prism. If this was Max Packs, it'd almost guaranteed be a Warp Prism heading across the map. But it's not. It's herO. And herO decides not to add that on. Just got 3 gateway for the potential Warp-ins. If he needs them. herO's got nothing defending his main currently. Trying to spread out his Adepts, maybe hoping to catch something flying across. It's not the direction it went, though. Like Clem's just waiting. Behind this Clem, kind of noteworthy, gets a Raven. That's the only thing. One tank is going to build a second one. Helene finally died alongside the Reaper. Medevac is going to go into the main now. There's still nothing here to defend. Is herO paying attention? Yes, he is. Wouldn't mind. Almost caught the conga line of probes. Almost. Clem loses the Widow Mines, loses the Medevac, and only killed 2 probes. It does suck to lose the Medevac, because this is actually a map where that Medevac should be able to get away. There are other maps where the natural is also up against the edge of the map, and so you can't escape that direction. This has escapes both directions, so it sucks. 3 shield batteries. Wow, 1 shield battery in every base coming down already. Okay. Okay. All right. He does not know if it is Banshees or not. The observer did not go across the map. It popped and then went to the main. Oh, that's the second observer that did that. Okay, so yeah, this one was heading its way on over. I am going to say it. I do wonder if herO F2'd at some point to not already have a scout in the main base of his opponent. Wow. Raven is going to fall. And Clem is not getting his usual unit retention TVP. Surveillance mode observer should see that he's about to die and run away, but now he's been revealed in general. And that did not... That was not worth it. That was not worth the surveillance mode. Because it's not like the surveillance mode even saw what actually was building here. And while Clem is unlikely to do a 2-base all-in, it's not impossible for him to do so, so I feel like he really would want to see if it's 3rd CC or not. herO's blind without the Stalker aggression, which is more than just Stalkers. The sentries have come along with him. Interesting. I don't think there was any time for the sentries to be scared, but maybe he was thinking just could, like, peel off a tank or a Marauder or 2. I suppose that is possible. But Stim, combat shields, +1 is already done, and Clem is actually almost ready to move out, so herO needs to be really careful not to let non-mobile units like the sentry be caught off. Robo Bay is done. Colossus will start to be built. Clem seems awfully comfortable. He's not moving out, though. He's going to wait till he has his Vikings, and I guess wait in general. Maybe he's going to play that late game like he did versus Max Packs. This game feels like an opportunity for him, though, to be aggressive. It's so hard to say. A lot of TVP and the way that's worked out in the last year has been Terrans thinking that they can do kind of the mid-game aggression and then getting no wins with it. And in fact, getting a lot of losses because they try to be aggressive, they lose the Medevacs, they lose the Bio, then they get countered by the Colossus, and they don't have enough to defend. So I think there's some hesitation there, but... Oh no! Why? Poor Yeti. I know there's a reason to kill the critters, but I always don't like it. Okay. Right, the game versus Max Packs, you know, there was Storm out. There was like an aggressive maneuvering army with Storm before EMPs, and there was a lot of reasons not to continue being aggressive against him. In this case, I feel like Clem could have, you know, before the Colossus showed up, but, yeah, no, didn't go for it. 4th CC, Ghost Academy on the way, as I was saying, Vikings already being produced. With this game plan, though, there is no way that he is found out under-defended against the Colossus, or even really, like, a Templar attack, if that's what herO was doing, because the tanks would help cover that. The Bio Concave on the high ground set up defensively would help that. Whereas, again, if you try maybe to be a little overly aggressive, you try and go for the drops and the pushes and the bio trades, you know, you're so busy trying to replenish that, you don't really get to the appropriate Viking count, or you lose a Medevac, so you might have gun Vikings, but you don't have enough Medevacs. I mean, this way, Clem knows that he has the army he has with his macro, which is quite good. There's been no trades. There's been no interruption. He's got his army. He's got 4 Medevacs, the key number for now, into a good number of Vikings before herO is ready to bully him with 3 Colossus. He gets the perfect Terran army. And, yeah, herO also gets some time to get 5 bases going on to 5 bases now. Maybe even on to 6. But the army is not in question. Like, Clem's army is good right now. Equal upgrades, by the way. Clem is out of position to start the battle. Force Field's trying to abuse the choke as well here, but I think it is wise of herO to pull back. Another stim is used there, but the Medivacs have plenty of energy. Zealots coming on the top side immediately evaporate. Plenty of Marauders left over. 2 Colossus going to fall, at least almost certainly the second one will. One more shot will cut it. Clem being careful. He knows the consequences of being too confident against the Protoss army. You think you've got your concave, you think you've got a good number of Marauders, you think the Colossus are going to fall, you run into them and... herO just killed that 1 weak Colossus. So I was right. That Colossus was inevitably going to die. Probably shouldn't have killed it though. And now he's taking a really bad engagement. EMPs on top of the army. The 1 Colossus is going to be super distracted. My computer struggling a little bit by the looks of things. But anyway. Yeah, that wasn't the fight for herO. Manga Man, thank you for that 7-month resub. Anyway, yeah, you don't want to be chasing into the Protoss army because, you know, at that time he would have had force fields. There could be more reinforcing Colossus. It could be reinforcing Zealots in the number of, 10, 20 or something, and you just got to be really careful. And it really seems like Clem is adhering to that principle of defensive Terran versus Protoss. He's not really bothering to try and find these avenues that you usually would, a year or 2 years ago in TVP. 4th base of the Planetary is going to help out. This is only half of Clem's army. The rest of it can come in on the top side for a fantastic concave. herO is on the run. Colossus, the last one going to fall. Immortals have been replacing them, which can sometimes be very good, but I don't think they're going to be very good here. Marines on the front lines taking that damage currently. EMPs taking them out. Vikings could have landed if they wanted to. herO actually took this base instead of this one? What? Okay, I don't know why that happened. It's a reinforcement base? It's a proxy? Okay. I guess. This is one too poor of a battle too many. These have been some really bad battles from herO. None of it really making a lot of, I don't want to say sense. It's not like he's completely lost in this matchup, of course, but none of these battles went according to plan in any way, shape, or form. The Colossus were under fire before they did any damage. The Zealots weren't reinforcing fast enough. The Viking count was never in question. Always there to take on the Colossus fairly quickly. Clem never got overconfident. Even this here, he's going to win. The supplies are just simply too different. And yeah, this is going to be game in favor of Clem. herO just doesn't want to admit it. Did split away from the Disruptors, which would start to one-shot the Marauders too. They've been stimmed so much. More Medivacs were produced, but even with that, many of them still running low. This would be important stuff if herO had an army to fight with. He doesn't. He's at 1/3 of the army supply of Clem, and Clem has nothing to worry about back at home, so just stim to win. GG's. And the style seems to be working for Clem. All right. He's now taking out Max Packs. He takes game 1 in very convincing fashion versus herO. I don't want to say that he's figured out the secret or that this is a result of the patch either. I think herO played that rather awkwardly, to be honest. I feel like awkward is a really good word for it. Like, we know herO's TVP can be amazing and ruthless and sharp. So sharp. But that wasn't it. That was a bit clumsy. All the attacks, off beats, missing units, missing key ingredients, missing micro. It's all a bit odd. And perhaps the map threw him off. Perhaps the fact that Clem was at no point ever aggressive threw him off. There's usually a little more of the back and forth that the Protoss can go, aha, now it's my turn. And Clem didn't even bother. Clem took no turn. Clem just waited. Had the meat but no seasoning, yeah. And, yeah, then that looks really easy. Like, the army of the Protoss is in a very big way fragile, you know? And so usually what you see is a lot of cleverness involved. The pullbacks, the choosing the right angles, the choosing the right engagement and choosing the right time, because you also have like a zealot run by or a war prism going in. Making sure there's always something else going on and there's always a way for you to retreat successfully. And that just did not happen. So when Clem was able to take engagements, nice concave, Vikings evolve, so on and so forth, they were very convincing. Bottom left now of Old Republic is Clem, top right is herO. herO likes this very fast probe just to be mean. Shake that one off. There's one thing herO can do is look completely different between games. So while that last game doesn't inspire a lot of hope for his PPT, if you know herO, you know that doesn't even matter. He could be 3-0 today. He could look bad versus Clem today. It happens. The vice versa also happens. The opposite where Clem looks bad versus Protoss. But it's also equally likely that herO has one weird looking game where we just kind of are like, oh, okay. And then he wins the series. That is herO, and that's why he's so fun to watch. I'm really hoping that the T1 pickup is rewarding for him. Another 1-Rax expand from Clem 2. You know, it's interesting. It did feel like the factory expand was getting more popular. Like 70-30. Factory expand to 1-Rax expand. And the 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion was getting quite popular. And then I guess Protoss around the world, NA, Europe, Korea, all started to, you know, once they scouted it, to just go ahead and default double shield battery, which didn't seem to hurt them as much as it absolutely hurt the factory expand push. And anyway, it just seems now, because we saw this actually in NA, on the Safe House qualifier, funnily enough. We just saw the Terran Foxer, but still. The Terran have a lot more success 1-Rax expanding, macroing as calmly as possible, and then engaging. The Widowmine drop still happens. The Reaper still, you know, gets made. It can do something or another. But it's not really about that. It's about a clean game and a clean defensive game. And forcing the Protoss, I guess, to do something against you. But I'm not sure, like, I feel like we're just in the midst of the kind of revolving door of the meta, you know? Where then the Terrans always 1-Rax expand and always play passive and defensive. So then the Protoss start to do things that really take advantage of that, such as being greedier on their end. You know, always 2-gate expanding, for instance, 2-gate through race. Always, you know, almost double expanding, 4th and 5th coming down almost simultaneously. Yeah, I mean, I think they could do that, and then suddenly you got the Terrans being like, okay, I guess we do really do something against the Protoss. But right now, this play seems to be working out fine. herO is not going for a Twilight Council. This is something Clem, did he get his eyes on that? I think he did. He did, indeed. The Stargate was seen. The Phoenix... I don't know, actually. I think it's kind of hard to tell. I think you can tell it's a Phoenix. I feel like you gotta really... And I don't, you know, Clem's not gonna have time to just sit there and look at that all day. Oh, well, the Oracle is here, so hello. Oracle shows up. The important thing is that he saw the Stargate in time to get his Marines in place and a Cyclone in the main, and he only took 2 SCVs of damage. Still, I mean, this was going to be an actual Phoenix, if he could tell that, which was canceled, by the way, anyway. But if he could, then maybe that would throw some doubt into his mind if it's going to be a Phoenix build. But with an Oracle, I think it very rarely goes into a Phoenix build. Phoenix builds in general are quite rare. But if they do happen, it's usually just right in a Phoenix. Yeah, I don't think Clem's tossing and turning at night over this potential. More likely, going into the Twilight Council, going into Blink, going into Colossus. So far, that is what herO's doing. Although, hold off on the Colossus. He might go Templar Archives. Clem's not gonna go for a Wood of Mine drop. Got 2 Cyclones, so he would have been very well defended against multiple air units. Now 2 Cyclones might look a little unnecessary. Depends on how they lock on in the future. Then goes into a Liberator. And this Liberator, you know, if it was afraid of Phoenix, I don't think it would have been built. So it's gonna get into the natural, see what's shaken. Maybe see if it's Templar Archives or Robo, which still is yet to be decided. herO opts for the Forge first. He's getting his gateways, trying to chrono out those probes. Stalker's on the front line with the Oracle to get some vision. There's the Robo. So he's going to be Colossus. And he doesn't know about the Liberator, but there's a good chance that Terran has a starport and that they have built something out of that starport. Whether it's a Wood of Mine drop or the Liberators. The Liberator does siege up. It will get 3 probes. Clem did make sure to shift-click on him, which isn't terrible. And maybe a couple of Stalkers alongside it. 2 Stalkers have gone down. These Cyclones not going to be a target. Maybe they can get 1 Stalker while they're at it. The back and forth micro between these 2. Medivacs are out. The push is already halfway across the map. Is Clem going to continue pushing? Usually I would say yes, right? But because of the way he's been playing, and because of the way I think Terrans are now kind of anticipating how strong a Protoss is, even when he seems to get an advantage, you know, there might not actually be a push. He's kind of hovering around right now, maybe hoping that herO moves into him. And then he can either take the fight if it goes well, or skedaddle if it doesn't. Clem is continuing to move units out into the open. 3rd CC is done, lifting on over now as he adds on also 4th and 5th barracks. herO moves his army to the right. He does not know about the army still over on the left. So he assumes that if it hadn't appeared, it left, but I think he just saw it. Certainly he's going to see it with the Warp Prism and the Stasis Trap. And now things are going to look a little weird. It's going to get very weird. Robotics Bay is done, but there's still no Colossus. This is all gateway units right now, and Clem simply lifts the 3rd CC again and leaves, goes for the pylon, depowers the armor. He's now going to go after the unit, save that medevac on the backside. herO scrambling to return home as there wasn't a recall. Even if there was, recalling into the army is never ideal. Probes are now in trouble. herO is in trouble. herO, again, going up against this army with pure gateway. And now he's going into his own chokes. And that is not going to be good enough for Clem. Not good enough to stick around, try and take the fight. He's going to lift. But this is certainly a good decision from him to just go for the attack. 11 probes are dead. Infrastructure delayed at the very least. Drops out on the other side and is caught a little bit. Clem was going to try and reinforce quickly, but now herO gets something going for him. That is good, but is it good enough? Still a 20 supply deficit thereabouts. Only 5 of it in army, however. Most of this is the economy issue, which I would say is a big issue. Wood of Mines pop off, taking on a lot of the Zealots. Clem has now fully reinforced on the front so that he is winning. Whereas herO does not have his reinforcements on the front as of yet. This Colossus does not want to reinforce. He wants to get the heck out of there. Otherwise, he is a goner. Some Adepts are pulled into this, but desperately trying to get every unit on the front. Clem now at a 40 supply lead. herO's army needs to be in a better situation here. It's not near a critical mass of gateway units to actually be scary. 1 Colossus honestly isn't that scary. No run-bys, by the way. This is all just down to this engagement, which Clem should be feeling very confident about. Although his army is weakened from the repeated stims, the medevacs are here. They will heal up. He's got an upgrade advantage, and he is looking at a single Colossus between him and victory currently. Wood of Mines are going to pop off. That one does pretty damn good damage. 2nd Colossus is now here, and this is getting a little scarier to engage into because, again, the bio is weak. Medevacs have not had time to heal, something that herO is trying to take advantage of, even going after one of those medevacs. And Clem is going to entirely disengage. He is starting to build up Vikings. This is a different way of playing, right? He has been engaging. He's been trying to win out in this the pseudo base trade that they had. He's been building non-stop medevacs, so the Vikings are coming in later, and this is a familiar dilemma that Clem avoided last game, but now is finding himself in, which is the Colossus dilemma. There's only 2 of them, and they do not have extended thermal lance. But typically, this is where they find some power in being the bigger bullies. Concave is here for Clem. He's going to pull the SCVs as well. Guardian Shield, very effective, and now less of a concave as Clem decides he can go after those Colossus. Both of them are killed. Everything on the front lines is killed, and those Stalkers will fall immediately after. herO thought he could stick around a little bit there, and he was not correct. Clem's army too powerful. Jesus Christ, that was a good disruptor shot. Oh my god, that just saved herO's life. Oh, the carnage, the blood, the guts. Ow. Disruptor's still useful, guys. Proof right there. But yeah, the army was very chonky. There's a lot of Marauders. There's less now, and it's still not at full health. Vikings no longer necessary. You're gonna have to land, which they're still good. herO isn't gonna let up on this aggression. That one disruptor shot is the reason he's even allowed to do this, man. And even as he gets this panic from Clem here, pulling the SCVs once again, I still don't know if it is actually the correct decision. Another disruptor shot gonna try and kill something. No longer kills the ghost patch. And this is going to be Clem once again pushing herO back. herO, you know, he is oftentimes going to be aggressive whenever the Protoss folds, and sometimes that pans out well for him. And it looks like it's so close to working in this game too, but I just don't think it's quite enough. Zealots are warped in, and they are chasing down, again, weakened Bio. But the Bio stutter step is going to be good. More reinforcements. Defender's advantage going to kick in. This planetary going to kick in. The SCVs could be pulled once again if necessary. Last second split against the Disruptor. Just such a small scale battle, but one in which Clem's army is quite good at. You know, you got individual healers. You got the splitting from the godlike Clem. You've got the option to pull back into a planetary now. There's no way that herO's winning this tug of war anymore, though he did get awfully close. When he was moving in after the first disruptor shot, if those zealots had gotten any more of us around. But the time is gone. The timing in which herO could win the game is gone. And I think that was literally the only time in which he could win the game. Because he is still not on 4 bases while his Terran opponent is. Fully saturated, 75 SCVs. 2-2, halfway done, as herO is still only on 1 forge. herO is still building disruptors, by the way, so he has chosen his AoE. I don't think we're going to get such a great disruptor shot again, though. And disruptors don't get shots. They're pretty useless. Not that dependable. They do get more shots. They get shots more often with the patch. There's that. Snipes a sentry, gets the hell out of there. A little harassment. Just a single Marine, actually, just a little scout. Clem, dodging and weaving. Dodge and weave, and now the disruptors are like, shit! We forgot. Micro is good. A couple reinforcing disruptors, still not going to be enough. Oh my god, Clem's just going to gun them all down. This is it. herO's so dead. herO was trying to set up some run-bys for some distractions. They're coming in too late. They're being F2'd back at this point, maybe intentionally, because herO is on the ropes. But there's nothing going well for herO. Clem takes a 2-0 lead. We could be on our last game here. What are you doing, SCV? In the bottom left, it is Clem. Top right, it is herO. Thrown to the something, I'll never know. I'll never know. I'll never be paying attention to the lobby to know what it is. Clem is sending out a proxy SCV. He's going to try and get this done early. Get it done. Get it done. Stupid Protoss keeps trying to win. Just kill him. He's got 2 racks. Second SCV is on the way. Classic. So, as I've been saying for the entirety of today's cast, it'd be a little cruel to go for proxies and the like on new maps. It's just not the same amount of knowledge on new maps when it comes to, A, where the proxies are most likely to be. Again, some are fairly obvious, like a Reaper would be close to a Reaper hop-up spot. A Stargate would be close to the entry into the main, you know. But some are not, like where would a 2-racks most likely go? And then also, where does my scout go? How does the AI maneuver around this map? I think it's going to go directly this way. For some reason, the probe goes that way. Like, these can be reasons why proxies or cheeses in general, I should say, are a little better on new maps. And they're going to be rampant on ladder, just a fair warning when we do get the ladder map change, just because people, A, it's usually a new season, so people want to try and get, like, the highest rank possible before everything settles. And B, it's because, yeah, people are going to be sitting there in their, you know, Diamond League game being like, oh, no, where do I expand? Okay, how do I wall off as a Protoss? Oh, Lings are here. Cool, very cool. Very cool. Okay, I guess I'm dead. And there's going to be a similar reaction from herO, by the way. herO has no scout. One game where he does not scout at all is the game that Clem Marauder proxies. And he's going to be looking at this map like, you know, I think I'm going to do a little blink here, and then maybe blink abuse there, and then that'll be great. And then maybe I'll attack his third with this little choke there. Oh my god, there's Marauders in my main. Fuck off. That's going to be his exact reaction. But in Korean, obviously. No, seriously, this is the worst case scenario for herO. I mean, actually, the worst case scenario is no shield battery. He is building a shield battery, but it's still pretty bad. Not having any scouts on this. And Clem knows he is not scouted as well, so Clem isn't pulling the trigger particularly quickly. He's waiting till he has Marauder slow done. You know, like if he was scouted, he kind of has to, you know, time out, like, do I start getting the damage done? Do I stop the shield battery from forming? Now he waits, and now it's, oh my god, I can't believe I didn't scout. The shield battery is only going to do so much, by the way. He will need more, but then if the Marauders don't get killed, they'll start one-shotting the Stalkers, so the shield battery will literally be useless. Probes are very good right now, so there's the good news. One Marauder does get killed, but then so does one Stalker. Second Marauder very close to death. Second Stalker very close to death, barely saved. As more probes are pulled from the main base, this is what you got to do as herO. For Clem, he needs to keep that Stalker count down. That's why he target fires them, then goes back to the probes. Already so many probes have fallen, but herO, if he survives, it's worth it. But is he going to survive? Second shield battery finishes up. Recharge was used, so is now on cooldown, although its cooldown is less thanks to the patch. Shield battery is being targeted now. The Stalker gets warped in. One more Marauder about to fall here. Clem still producing Marauders, obviously. Now 15 probes killed. 16. 17. herO now, you know, can't lose more probes at this point, actually, even if he technically survives. Sentry going to fall. Stalkers are going to fall. Recharge. Not enough energy for it. Clem's proxy 2 racks. He's going to make this a nice, clean 3-0. GG's. There you have it. Clem. He is your champion for the Monday Night Weekly.